it's Samantha from Samantha Designs. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little something a little different. We're going to talk about mass producing cards, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way that hopefully will help you. I hope you will think about subscribing. Please hit the subscribe button, the like, give me a thumbs up, comment. Alright, first let's plan your design. So when I'm going to make a mass production of cards, whether in this case it's 6 cards or 40 cards, I like to plan out what I'm going to do. And usually my design for my card is going to be simpler the more of them I have to make. So if I have to make 40 cards, it's going to be a very simple design. In this case it was 6, and though it's still somewhat simple, it still had a lot of steps. So I want to make sure I have enough time to incorporate those steps and figure out how I'm going to get them all done. So when I'm doing this, I like to get my little notebook out, maybe do a little drawing of the design, think about what elements I'm going to use, what colors, and also think about who I'm going to be giving these to. In this case, this was for a friend, and I like to give her a variety of cards. So for me, the biggest thing was that the sentiments were going to have to be different. I couldn't give the same sentiment on every card because I want her to be able to use them and use them for occasions that she has coming up, or may need a card to send to someone. So I get fairly specific when I'm designing. I'll think about what paper pad I want to use, if I'm using patterned paper, what stamps, what die cuts, or dies, I want to use. I get really specific. So if that's not your thing, it's cool and you can wing it, but this works really well for me. Next, you're going to create an assembly line. So when I'm doing cards, I pick out the papers here. I'm just showing you this Recollections paper pack that I have. It's black and white, and this lovely scallop die that I'm going to use in this, and I'm going to cut each of these papers out. So this might be something during the week I would do this step one night and then the next step another night, and so forth and so on, because you have to also work in your crafting time into your life. Now this particular set of cards, I had done some of it way back, and I'll show you that in a minute. Here I'm cutting out these florals. These are really delicate, so I cut these out of scrap pieces of white cardstock I had laying around, and I cut 3 ply. So I end up, you'll see me later gluing these together, but each one of these for each card is 3 pieces thick because they're so delicate. Alright, this is the part that I had done a long time ago when I planned this card out, because I planned this a long time ago, and just have never gotten to it. So this is a Sizzix die that I have that layers really nicely, and this is kind of what started it, because I really like this particular shape, and I like that it has this open front part that I can put in the different sentiments. So here is where I'm separating all that huge pile that I made. I'm using my Elmer's Crap-On glue, and I'm going to start putting these together, and there's going to be 3, there's going to be 3 of them in a thick, if that makes sense. So one on top of the other. Okay, so here I'm using this long fine stamp, this little scripty stamps that are going to be what I'm using for my sentiments. I'm going to use my Versamark ink and grabbing my anti-static powder tool, which mine is just a little bag. I think this is easy. I know there's a lot of tools out there on the market, but this is the one that works for me. I've had it forever. And then the Versamark ink I'm going to use to put on my sentiment. This one's Hello You. I end up doing Thank You, Get Well Soon, I Love You, and Thinking About You, and I'm then using some Recollections detail white embossing powder, and I'm going to emboss these or heat them. Alright, now keep it fun. What I mean by that is that some people get bored. I get bored too. So on this particular set, I changed the sentiment. So I used the I Love You, like I said, Get Well Soon. I used different ones. But you may want to change the color of one of the papers that you're using. You may want to change, instead of using that particular shape that I have the sentiment on, maybe change it up and use different things. So don't feel like you have to be stuck. If you're using one design, you can still mix and match and make it fun for you. Now I am putting just 2 pieces of this foam squares, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to take these pieces and tuck them behind. I didn't want to get the placement wrong, so, where I didn't like it. So I thought this was going to be the easiest way. And then with the inside of it not, hindered by the foam squares, I can put it in and get it placed without any problem whatsoever. And then if I need to tack down, the top portion, I can do that with my liquid glue, no problem. Okay, what else can I tell you about this? Oh, I made, this ends up being 6. So I'm going to show you another one that I'm doing here. This one's, I really like this particular paper. It's flowered and has a lot of white on it, but it's so pretty. I love it. So I'm going to get this one going, and then we're going to do one more little thing that you might want to think of when you're making these little gift sets. Again, I hope you have stayed to the end of this, and you're going to subscribe and give me a like and a comment. I would really appreciate it. I've had a couple of new folks who have joined, so welcome to my community. I hope this continues to grow. I am on TikTok and Instagram as well, so all those links will be down below if you want to follow me there. Alright, so here are the 6. I think they turned out so cute, but they needed something else. So for the bonus, don't forget when you're making these kinds of gifts, make something pretty to put them in. So I took the envelopes, I just put it in some of this glittered tissue paper. And if you have seen my channel, I added a little extra gift. If you see my channel, I made this little gift bag, and I put it in there for my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you next time.